Well, hello, Cooksters, my good friends. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Reel. I'm so excited that you came to join me this evening. You know, back in 1974, the great and famed impresario of comedy, Mel Brooks, teamed up with Gene Wilder to write a screenplay that he would subsequently turn into a smash film. This was back in 1974, and of course, you know what I'm talking about. It's everyone's favorite cult film, Young Frankenstein. That's right. And it became a huge smash hit, and it's become certainly a cult classic since then. It featured such character actors as Madeline Kahn, the aforementioned Gene Wilder, Terry Garr. Oh my goodness, who am I forgetting? Well, there's certainly Marty Feldman and Peter Boyle. I mean, these people were amazing, and they still are. This film is something that is watched night after night during the Halloween season, of course. It took them about just a little over $2 million to produce the film, and it got back pretty good receipts in excess of $86.2 million. And in 1974, that is box office gold. Now, some 33 years since, Mel Brooks got back together with some of his friends on Broadway, and they put together a big smash hit musical, Young Frankenstein. It did really well. It featured such Broadway stalwarts as Andrea Martin and Sutton Foster. It really was a big deal. You might even recall that ABC had planned to do a live broadcast of Young Frankenstein back in 2020. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it was summarily canceled. Well, nevertheless, it has become quite the favorite among theaters, regional and amateur, community, professional across the U.S. and abroad. And we're going to celebrate part of that Young Frankenstein franchise this evening. And I'll tell you a little more about that in a moment when we return. We're back. So where we are this evening is at Village Square Theater. You probably figured out because the sign was up above me in lights in the previous segment. And we are here this evening to see, obviously, a live production of Young Frankenstein. And I'm really excited about this because in as much as I have been a huge fan of the film, I've never seen a live production of the musical. And by the way, I've also played the creature in a stage adaptation that I did back in 2009 of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So I'm very excited to see what my friend Merritt Van does with that particular role, even though I know this is a quite different type of deal. This show is directed by Deborah Leppard, and it features a cast of local performers who are champing at the bit to bring all these roles back from the dead, these iconic roles. Deborah Leppard characterizes this production as sort of an old Hollywood meets horror comedy with a special campy twist. And that sounds pretty good to me. I can't wait to check it out. So go with me and let's go see what's cooking. Follow me, or should I say, walk this way. Well, okay, we're here speaking to this kind young lady out in the lobby. And what is your name?
Colby Wilson.
Colby Wilson. Okay, tell me what you're doing here this evening.
So I'm currently selling candy grams for the actors and actresses in this show, and I've sold a good amount of stuff tonight.
Fantastic. What do you think of the show?
I love it. It's really good. It's really funny.
And how many times have you seen it?
Once.
One time? And that was, you got your fill from that one time.
I did.
Yes?
Yes.
All right, well, let's see what you've got here on the table. We're looking at, looks like a bunch of nasty, gnarly teeth. That's quite appropriate. And then I'm going to look up behind you, lots of bags with the visage of Boris Karloff. And that looks great. Well, thank you so much, Colby. And I guess we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, bye.
Bye-bye. Village Square Theater's production of Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein the Musical is a delightful production of color and comedy. Director Deborah Leppard has assembled a cast of local actors who are not only up to the job of pulling off the gargantuan task of this complex piece, but in many respects, some performers actually exceed expectations. Leppard's directing, particularly of the musical numbers, is excellent. She deftly stages the musical to allow audiences to follow the narrative with ease. Frederick Frankenstein is convinced by hunchbacked Igor, played with likable appeal by T.J. Daly, to continue his dark and mysterious experiments, mainly the reanimation of dead human tissue. Frankenstein's indulgence culminates in the making of the pseudoscience of the creature, brought to life in an extraordinary performance by Merritt Van. Leppard pulls all the stops. She knows her subject matter. She constructs a nicely packaged evening of entertainment. The show opens with a strong and solid entrance featuring the triple threat talents of young Corey Taylor as the Herald. Taylor exudes confidence and brings a hearty voice while speaking and singing, portending the unusual events to follow. Davis Herndon as the young Frederick Frankenstein is an affable protagonist. Herndon's voice is pitch perfect. It is of honey and handles the tenor of his songs with aplomb. Herndon is the anchor of the show and does a fine job of tackling a role that features Frankenstein's questionable life decisions. As previously mentioned, T.J. Daly's Igor is an amiable foil to Frankenstein's antics. Igor's primary function in the story seems to be to move the story forward and link scenes together with humorous results. Daly plays his part well and it's obvious he has a grand time of it. Merritt Van as the monster is a powerful performance worthy of, pardon the pun, merit. His ability to completely immerse himself in the role is remarkable, and his character work is so profound that we forget there's an actor underneath all those stitches and green face paint. Van's physical comedy is perfection. His performance is so captivating he uplifts any acting partner with which he shares the stage. Maggie Baker is simply sensational as the hormonally charged Inga. She never misses a beat nor an opportunity to display her God-given assets. Baker's singing voice is equally a delight. This young actress is a standout, and she provides showstopper after showstopper. Perhaps the leading powerhouse of the entire evening belongs to Brett Williams. In short, her performance as the prudish Elizabeth Benning is a masterclass in musical theater comedy. Her timing is impeccable, spot on. Her singing, dancing, and character choices are exemplary. Suffice to say, the performance team of Van, Baker, and Williams is a tour de force that comes along only once in a howling blue moon. But the most enjoyable little surprise of the night may very well have been the brief but memorable entrance of Jeff Sigley as the blind hermit. Sigley's rendition of Please Send Me Someone is sweet, perfectly sung with a smoking set of pipes, and his lament followed by an exchange with the monster that is equal parts charming, equal parts heartwarming. Assorted standout performances from the ensemble also included Mark DeNovo, David Latour, and Harrison Ayer. The rest of the ensemble is fleshed out by a competent and committed village of Transylvanians comprised of everything from fresh new dilettantes to hardened stage veterans. This supporting cast includes the talents of Jeremy Woodall, Tim Privette, Karen Herschel, Vicki Jackson, Cameron Eubanks, Zana Mills, Virginia Walker, James Phelps, Grayson Crabness, Jackson Carball, Tyler Elling, Riley Jones, Dan Kennedy, Jennings Michaels, Brandy Mims, Carolyn Powell, Sebastian Santos, Sonora Shaw, Scott Vaughn, Wayne Wright, Trey Weaver, Courtney Ballard, and Chris Krusner. Now, every theatrical presentation has its challenges, and this production wasn't immune. Pregnant pauses plagued scenes of dialogue, in particular dropped energy, uneven pacing, prolonged silences between cue pickups were most troubling. In scenes such as Frederick Frankenstein's encounter with his father, Victor von Frankenstein, and Frau Blucher's moments of talking before, during, and after he was my boyfriend. Though Diana Price was lovely and perfectly cast as Frau Blucher. Though the singing in both scenes was first class, the show ground to a halt the moment dialogue began. Crowd scenes were particularly problematic, as the villagers appeared like jumbled lumps of clay without form. It was apparent that the actors had not been properly placed into visual pictures, tableaus that would arrange each performer in such a way as to tell a snapshot story with faces unblocked. Dance choreography by Christy Sheely Mills was creative, fun, energetic, and precise. Mills's expertise is apparent and displays the excellence we've come to expect from her work throughout the years. The costumes were beautifully designed by Jeff Sigley. They provided delightful bursts of color that accurately reflected the play's time and place. The live orchestra was splendid, led by Camille Jones, and supported the narrative with appropriate musical dexterity. Visuals on the digital projection screen were perfect and enhanced each scene from location to location. The explosion of vampire bats during curtain call was particularly effective and a fun surprise. Director Deborah Leppard should be commended for curating all theatrical elements into a fantastical, cohesive blend. Now, for my summative assessment. For such an excellent job of putting on the Ritz,
I give Village Square Theater's Young Frankenstein the Musical a rating of 4.5 Schwanstugels. Congratulations. If you'd like to see Young Frankenstein the Musical, and I highly recommend you do, you've got one more chance to get your little Schwiegelven Porkenstupper down to the theater. Closing day performance is a Sunday matinee, May 21st at 3 p.m. Remember, the show is rated PG for adult content. Village Square Theater is located at 105 Kaufman Road in Lexington, South Carolina. For tickets, call the box office at 803-359-1436 or go to villagesquaretheater.com for more information.
Well, what a fantastic show. That was really, really a delight, and I'll tell you, it just goes to show that we've got some amazing talent in the local areas here of the Midlands. I'll tell you, I didn't know what to expect going in because, again, this is a new musical to me. As I've said before previously, I'm not really the musical theater type of person. However, I really enjoyed what I saw, and the tip of the hat that they had to the great film from 1974 was just fantastic. I think the strongest parts that I saw this evening were from the principal players. They were really, really well cast, and I think that this company did a stellar job. So congratulations to Deborah Leppard and the good people of Village Square Theater. It was so great to come back to this place that I am very familiar with and to see an excellent production of Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein. Well, listen, folks, if you liked what you saw tonight, please remember to leave a comment in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring-a-ding-ding Quasimodo's bell, or should I say Igor's bell, because you know, it's here that you're going to receive more reviews of really cool theater, and we're going to talk more about horror and the macabre and science fiction, TV, film, all those wonderful things. Remember that, folks, that it's here. It's all here, and it's all on the inside. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget, sleep tight, and don't let the Transylvanians bite. Too much? Yeah, that was too much. Let's just, Jeff, be sure to edit that out, okay? You're not going to edit it, are you? You're going to leave it in, right? Okay.